What's going on, everybody? Gek here, and today we're going to be going over the best and worst tractors in each category in Farming Simulator 22. Alright, so I've got 6 tractors here, 2 from each category: small tractors, medium tractors, and large tractors. And one of them is the best in the category, and one of them is the worst in the category. And this is, of course, my opinion. If you disagree with me, be sure to let me know in the comments, I guess. So, I'm going to be rating them on a few things, just like how useful they are, if they're generally good or not, how they look, how much power they have for the price, all sorts of things, just basically whatever. So, I guess let's get right into it. Alright, so to start things off, we've got for the worst tractor in the small tractors category, the New Holland TK4 Methane. And you might be thinking, well, what's so wrong with this little tractor? Well, there's a few reasons why I don't like this thing at all. The first is that it's very, very slow. It can only drive 7 miles an hour, no matter whether you're pulling something or not. The second is that it can't drive over anything, because if you look, it has this giant thing on the back, so it can't drive over anything. Like if we look at my flatbed trailer over here with this bump right here, it's the only tractor out of all the ones I have here that can't drive up this bump. So that's a big L for it. And the next thing is, I think I already said it has really low power. It makes 75 horsepower for like $60,000. It's very expensive for what you get. And the last reason I don't like it is that it looks like if a Honda Civic had a baby with a quad bike. It's kind of ugly. And you can't attach a front loader or anything. There's no front linkage. It's just generally bad. And the best tractor in the small tractors category is the Bueller 6105. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce that. And you might be thinking, well, that tractor looks kind of useless. It only has a hitch on the back, and it doesn't have a front loader or anything. Well, there's a few reasons why I like this tractor. It actually looks pretty nice, at least in my opinion. It looks good. And it doesn't have a ton of options that overwhelm you when you're going to buy it. And the last reason I like it is because it's really, really cheap. It has 100 horsepower, which isn't a whole ton, but for $39,000, it's, I believe, I might be wrong and correct me if I am, the cheapest tractor in the entire game. And if we look in the shop here, there is another tractor that costs $500 more than it, but this tractor only has 70 horsepower when you buy it. This one has 100. There are a couple cons to this tractor. You can't get it with narrow tires, which isn't good. But if you're doing some kind of challenge where like you start with no money and you can only buy new equipment, this tractor is going to be a really good option. Alright, moving on to the medium tractors. The worst tractor in the medium category is the 4755. And you might be thinking, well, what's wrong with the 4755? It's good. And in terms of like being a tractor, it's alright, but there are a few problems why I don't like it. The first is that it's kind of expensive for making 190 horsepower. It's $108,000. And the other tractor that makes that much power is the Valmet 8750. It costs the same amount and has the same amount of power. But this one, I believe it has a slightly tighter turning radius, and it has way more options. You can get it with a front loader, you can get it with the Iceria, you can get narrow tires, you can change the color. So that's why I like that one better. It's a better option than this for the same price. And the other problem with this one, the turning radius is really wide. And just generally for how much you pay for it, you're not getting a whole lot. And also it looks kind of weird with this hitch on the front. It looks weird. But it's not really a horrible tractor. I just don't like it because of all those reasons I just mentioned, and I don't really use it. And then the best tractor in the medium tractor category is the Landini 7230 Robo 6. And I like this one because it looks good. It's a good deal for how much power you get. You can make it shiny or not shiny. There's tons of different tire options. It has a linkage on the front and back. And really, it's not that expensive if we look in the shop. I believe it's this one, yes. And you can make it shiny. You can make it have black rims or not. You can get it with the Iceria, a front loader. You can get Narrows. You can get tons of different engines that can have up to 225 horsepower for less than $200,000, so that's why I like that one. And of course, these are all my subjective opinions. Just use whatever tractor you want, but some of them, like this one, are kind of dumb. Alright, moving on. The worst tractor in the large tractor category is the Case 500 Road Track, because it's just useless. Like, I don't see any purpose for it. As far as I know, the narrow tracks still will damage your crops if you drive over them. I could be wrong. Enlighten me, comments section, please. But I'm pretty sure it will damage your crops. And plus, it has, if we look in the shop, in here, the most power you can get is $529,500 for 558 horsepower. And then this, the normal quad track, it has, you can get that same amount of power for the same price, but it has wider tracks. Plus, you can get it with up to almost 700 horsepower. And you can get the Iceria thing as well for if your planter has fertilization. Plus, it looks weird with the narrow tracks. And it's hard to drive it. Like, I could barely put it on the flat deck trailer because of the width of the tracks. And that's why I don't like the road track tractor. And now for the last tractor in this video, and the best tractor in the large tractors category, it's the Versatile 620. And you might be thinking, well, why the Versatile 620? Why not the quad track? Why not the Steiger wheeled? Because this, it's better. If we look in the shop, the Steiger wheeled, which is probably the best competitor to it, it starts at $402,000 for 524 horsepower. And this one starts at $359,000 for 583 horsepower. So for less price, you get more horsepower. And the most horsepower, 665, is $398,000. You can take the 3-point off if you don't plan on using it and save yourself some money. You can get the Iceria. And the only issue with it is that you can't change the wheel setup. You can just change the brand. But I think that's a worthwhile trade-off. It has more horsepower than you'll need for, I think, any tool in the entire game. I don't think any of them use more than 665 horsepower. And it's just a better deal than the quad track. So that's why I think the Versatile 620 is the best large tractor in the game. And of course, all these tractors, these are all base game tractors. If I was looking with mods and stuff, it would be completely different. But for all the base game tractors, this is the worst and best in every category. Thank you all for watching and for being here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to let me know in the comments if you did, and you can also support my channel by liking the video and subscribing and sharing to someone else who you think will like it. And thank you again for watching, and be sure to have a good day. Goodbye.